Hello, welcome to episode 7 of Third and Short podcast. Obviously, myself, co-host Matt, and executive producer, I like to call him, Jamie.
Executive, have I been relegated? I'm the producer.
Another eventful weekend of results. We're just going to kick straight into it, I think, and talk about obviously our individual teams' results last week. Something I'm sure Jamie's looking forward to. So we'll go straight to you, Jamie. Over to you about the books.
I just need to take a bit of alcohol before I start talking. What can I say? Oh shit! All right, Matt, how you doing? You okay? How was the Raiders this week?
We're not finished with the books. We are far from finished.
I did say we'd probably lose. The Saints are a very, very strong team. I still think they're one of the best teams in the NFL, let alone the NFC, let alone the NFC South. I knew they would probably win it. It was an embarrassing defeat, especially staying up at 3 a.m. in the morning, like 4:30 a.m. by the time it finished. It was ridiculous. I mean, we should have got 9 points minimum because we just decided to go for it on 4th down on 2 tries. But, they needed the points. I mean, they were like 24 down at one point, 24 unanswered points, 31 unanswered points, 38 unanswered points by those times. So it was like, we better get a 3 on the board because we don't want to be shut out here. So Ryan Suckup could have got 3 field goals. They were in range and we probably should have got them. But the most embarrassing one was the 4th and goal. Like we were on the 1 yard line and we still didn't convert. It was ridiculous.
I've not watched the highlights, to be fair.
And obviously we turned it over because obviously then he started and second play gets it straight over the 10 yard line, 1st down, and then gets back up the other end. I don't think he scored on that drive, but bloody heartbreaking. It's books of old.
Bloody heartbreaking.
It's before Jameis Winston came. Before Jameis Winston came, we were 2-14 that season, and it was basically like that. It was awful.
What were you with Winston?
Average first season was a winning season. Didn't make the playoffs though.
No.
And I think we may have made them wild card. I can't remember now. And then it's just been average, like 8. I can't even count. Like it would have been like it would have been like 4. It would have been like just like that. Yes, 7 9s. Like no winning seasons besides that first freshman year when he came out and won basically every award going because he was great that year, and then just went downhill, didn't he?
Eating the dub. How did you feel about that?
I didn't know about it until Gary sent it, and I was like, I didn't even know he snapped. I literally went to bed, after we got I actually didn't stay up to right at the end. I didn't know Winston took a snap.
Yeah.
Until the next day, and I was like,
ultimate shithouser, isn't it?
At its finest, absolutely.
But I love Jameis Winston, so I'll let him have it. I mean, he was let go from the franchise. He was supposed to be the franchise quarterback, and then he was let go, and then he tweeted out saying, "We'll see you at the Super Bowl," and it looks like he's going back to Tampa, and he's going to do it. So,
not a chance.
Imagine he throws the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Drew Brees is going to get injured in the playoffs, and Jameis Winston's going to come in and win it.
It'll be the NFC Championship game between the Bucs and the Saints.
And Jameis Winston throws 500 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
I hope that.
No chance he will throw it in.
Yeah. He'll throw one.
He may throw 7 touchdowns, but 4 of them are probably for the other team.
He'll do it for a laugh when they've already won.
Yeah, but
however, it seems like you've got your new Jameis Winston in Brady. It was 3 picks, wasn't it? On Sunday.
I mean, yeah, but before that, it was about 3 games without one. So.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. We've already spoke about them. Let's speak about what he did this week.
The defense was very, very good this week for the Saints. They did well. I'm trying to think of the actual picks. What happened? One of them was ridiculous. Like literally, it got tipped, bounced off another player, then bounced off another player, and then their fucking linebacker just caught him. Was like, yeah, bye. Just ran with the ball.
I hate tipped
it was
ones.
And then
I saw the one to Antonio Brown. That was awful. But I think that was a mixture of both because Antonio looked like he stopped his run early, his
Yeah.
run early.
Antonio Brown had a good game though. Like to be fair, he didn't have hardly any training. He got about 4 receptions. He got about 50 yards or so.
Yeah,
So,
I saw
he did okay.
the third pick was terrible. I don't know how late it was in the game though, but it was a pure desperation throw. But it only went about 20 yards. He just threw it in the air.
That's literally like the Jets when they were winning. Just throw it.
Yeah.
But the only thing I didn't actually watch the game because it was on stupidly late. But I've not even watched the highlights either. I'm saving it for when I have a special moment on my own. I can really enjoy it. No, what I wanted to ask was what I really rate the Bucks' defense. Really rate them.
What happened? I have no idea. I have no.
What was the final score? It was
38-3.
Yeah, that's a lot of points to give up for a defense.
38 unanswered points.
I would put the overall defense in the top 5 in the NFL before.
Top 1? We were number 1.
I'm saying what I would put in the top 5 overall. If you were to rate the defense as a whole.
Oh no, but I'm saying we were ranked number 1 by the NFL.
Well, it's even worse than
number 1. Yeah. That wasn't me just going, oh yeah, we are number 1. We were actually ranked the best defense in the league. But
it's madness.
It's ridiculous what happened. Yeah, it was. But their backup quarterback, Tyson Hill, was just unreal. He was running. I think he's a backup quarterback, and he got. I can't even remember. I'm sure I put it in the group at some point.
He did everything. He rushed, he caught, and he threw.
He is that good. But
he's brilliant.
But that's what I mean. This is what I said that Derek Carr should have done in the game. If you get the quarterback to run, we can't stop him. We can stop rushing backs, and we can stop the throw. But if your quarterback is running and mobile, we can't stop them for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I'll come on to mobility.
Yeah. But like I said, Taysom Hill, 2 throws, 48 yards. He was their leading rusher with 7 carries and 54 yards. And then he also
Lamar Jackson stats.
And then he also had 1 reception as a receiver and got 21 yards.
So, you said he rushed 50 odd yards then?
54 yards, yeah. 7 carries, averaging 7.7 a yard. That's what I mean. It was the first downs. There was so many times that obviously we could usually stop them, but because he was getting these 7 yards each one, it was a first down. And by the other end of it, Breeze is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL. He knows how to play. And as much as I hate him, fucking, what's he called? I always get mixed up. Is it Sean McVay?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I hate him. He's just a cunt. Is it Sean McVay? No, Sean McVay's Rams. That's what I mean. I always get him mixed up with the Saint Ted coach.
I'm loving that Jamie's gone all out on the naughty words this week for the first time, I think.
Sean Payton. I mean, look at his face. It's just a fucking cunt face. He's basically...
this episode is not for children.
He's basically like the Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, he's just always chewing gum, and you just want to punch his fucking face every time you see him. I hate him so fucking much.
Oh, this is so enjoyable.
I'm enjoying this. Really. Could be my favourite.
I mean, why because we're winning the rest of the games.
I said it last week though. Like, I know you always say that Giants up the game against the Bucks, but I don't know. We ran over you, and that was our running backs. And that was our backup running backs. The week before, second half, you obviously shaped up, but I don't know. I think, I think I said it last week that I think you'll get to a wild card and that'll be your lot.
I'll take it. I don't care.
If
you gave me that start of the season, I'll take it.
Yeah, of course. And again, it might just be that teams are now watching more and more tape of you that's out there and are being able to put game plans together and understand it. It's different when it's a divisional game as well, isn't it? There's always added extra incentive.
Saints are always the best team in that division.
Yeah, I just didn't see them being that better than you, especially after the first game.
From the Raiders' point of view, we've done you a favour in beating the Panthers and we beat the Saints. We're trying to help you out here. We even let you beat us. We threw it away in the fourth. Doing our bit for old man Tom.
It's thingy. It needs to be a little bit of drama on there. You don't want to just smash the division, do we? We don't want like a Steelers division where it's 8-0. This division's open. Panthers could still get a playoff place. Falcons are on a run at the moment. They could still get a playoff place.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, but they could.
Falcons are hitting form.
That's what I mean. So I'm going to stand by to say it's still one of the strongest divisions definitely in the NFC, but maybe in the NFL as well. Like, it's a very strong division. Like, if you look at the power,
are you 1 win back now or 2?
but we're 6-3.
What are
the Saints? Are they 7? No.
They're 6-2. They've got a game in hand. They've already had their bye week.
Bye week, right? Fair.
Yes.
You mentioned Taysom Hill ran 50-odd yards there, or rushed for 50-odd yards. The week before, the whole of the Chiefs only rushed for 50 yards.
Bloody hell.
I mean, yes, okay. He played the Jets.
From like 4, isn't he?
He threw 5 touchdowns and 400 yards. And he did play the Jets. But it shows that for a backup quarterback to run 50-odd yards is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say as well, they had Jameis Winston and he knows all our plays, so he was feeding them all to know exactly what was going on. He doesn't
even know what day it is.
He don't even know what his own plays were.
If he knew your plays, you'd have kept him.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't actually know what day it is. That is a proper shout. He really doesn't. If
you're listening, James, come on the show. We'll have a chat.
Yeah.
I love him. Please do. I messaged him on Instagram.
If you come on the show, I will wear a box shirt.
Yeah.
With your name on it.
I'll be really nice to you as well.
At least I was sincere.
I'll just be like this.
No, it was certainly an interesting result. I think I had the books down to win on Pickens.
I did.
They were 74%.
I thought it'd be close. I didn't think it'd be.
No one did.
No, I didn't think it'd be that big a result either way.
No.
To be honest, Drew Brees is good. Saints are really, really hitting form.
All of the experts put the Bucks to win the game.
I think, that just shows you've done it. I think they'll be really hard to beat the Saints in the NFC.
Is Thomas back now, or was he still out?
Yeah, he played.
It's a big difference as well, isn't he?
Yeah, got quite a few big plays. But
Alvin
Kamara was pretty quiet. Like I said, the rushing backs don't get a lot against us.
Come on.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks do. Like, I think that's the best way to play against us, is quick snaps and rushing quarterbacks. Can't wait to play the Chiefs. It's going to be great.
That'll be interesting.
Is it soon?
Yeah, we've got the Panthers, and then it could be the Chiefs. I'm going to double check that.
I think we got the Broncos and the Chiefs, so it could be the week after.
That might be a bye week. I'm just going to double check. Buccaneers. But yeah, I mean, it's the worst game I've seen us play in a while, and I'm going to stand by and say we should always play 6 o'clocks. Like, literally. I say that because this is why I forgot. So Panthers are 6 o'clock this Sunday. Then it's the Rams, Monday Night Football again. And then it's the Chiefs, which is a 9:25 game.
Rams could be a game.
So we could be 6 by then. Who knows?
Yeah.
See if Donald gets after Brady. That could be interesting.
Are we happy to let Jamie off the hook, or should we still carry on talking about the books?
I thought you wanted this episode to last under an hour.
To be honest, I had this sort of little plan where I was just going to go in on Tom Brady a little bit, because I'm always in two minds. His sort of numbers speak for themselves, really.
He's the GOAT. There's no doubt about it.
Of
all time.
No, not for me. Maybe that's something we can do in a later episode. Maybe after the season's done and we're struggling for stuff to talk about.
After he's won the 7th Super Bowl.
But I think it's poor from him. I didn't watch the game. 3 interceptions. Looking at the figures, it's poor, regardless of how the interceptions happened. But I'm more surprised at your defense. The more I thought about it today, is that's a lot of points to give up to. Yeah, they're a good side. There's no two ways about it. The Saints are good, but that's a lot of points to give up, regardless of who you're playing. They only scored 12 points against us, so we're better. But we're not, as you know, we lost to the. But, it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see how the season pans out before.
I always say I don't mind losing as long as we put up a fight.
Yeah.
these are the worst kind of defeats when you know it's just like,
Yeah,
and that's what
we
frustrated
didn't
me
do
so much
anything.
when we lost to the Bucks, because until the start of Q4, it was neck and neck, really. It could have gone either way, and then we just crumbled. It happened against the Patriots as well, which is just infuriating. But it is what it is. More of a surprise that your defense let you down, really.
yeah,
Because we are pretty quiet at least for a quarter or 2 quarters. Like, we'll either be really crap in the first half and then just all of a sudden, like against the Giants, first play and we'll intercept straight away and we're on fire from that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe they score 38 points. Maybe we can score about 20 odd points in the second half. And it didn't happen. So I was like, no, never mind.
yeah.
I left halfway through the fourth quarter and went, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, with about 5 minutes left, I was like, no.
You don't want a bad week against a divisional rival either, here. That's what surprises me the most. You think they'd get up for it more against a team they're probably going to be challenging with for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I think this is Brady's largest defeat in history. So he's going to have to come back and be like, well, we need to fight now. And we need
Drew
to...
Brees, first person to beat Tom Brady twice in the regular season.
Yeah, I was going to say that. First time he's had the double done, isn't it?
Because Brady's had to play against the bang average Dolphins, the really shit Jets, and the Bills who've been nobody until this season.
Yeah, true. I didn't actually look at it that way. I thought it was a great start.
I mean,
you just absolutely defunct it all.
Over 20 years, though. That's over 20 years. Don't forget.
It's still a shit division.
And Dolphins have been to... I think all of them have at least gone to the playoffs at some point.
Dolphins have been irrelevant since the 90s.
Laces out!
I saw a stat last season, I think at the end of last season, where the Dolphins was something like 0.500. For, like, if you put all the games for the last so many years, they were exactly level on wins and losses, which is just the pitch. It's the pitch. You don't want to be that team.
We're less than that.
I was going to say I'd probably take that.
No, but what I mean, from a fan's point of view, you're not going anywhere.
Like you say, you're irrelevant.
Yeah, you're not gonna do well. You're not gonna get a good draft pick. And then they started sort of collecting picks last year by like Minka Fitzpatrick, didn't they, to the Steelers? And I think both teams have done well out of that trade, to be honest. He's a good player, a bit of a bad egg, but he's a good player, and the Dolphins managed to get a first rounder out of it. So, they've been collecting the picks, and I think in 2 years, maybe 3 years, they'll be really, really good.
They can still get playoffs this season. They're in the ship.
Yeah,
they're in the hunt for it.
Now, this is what I was going to talk about. Is we talked about Tua, and I know we'll sidetrack slightly here, but I think you two were unsure if it was a wise move to dump Fitzpatrick. But look at what it's done for the Dolphins.
2 wins.
Absolutely steamrolling now. And they've just beat Kyler Murray, who, as much as I don't like him, that's a great result.
It is. I won't take the first win anything to do with Tua. He was involved in one touchdown. It was a defense from there, but you're right to beat the Cardinals. I hope it's a fluke because I want him to fail because he's absolutely dethroned Fitzmagic. And I can't, like we discussed, I can't deal with watching a left-hand quarterback. It's just not
watch,
right. Yeah. But like you said, Matt, I think you go on to it, you kind of like it and think it'll actually be a beneficial sort of tactic.
I think so.
Yeah.
You look at you get an edge rusher, if they know they're coming off a particular side, they know what arm to go for to potentially stop a throw or whatever. And I think it could just throw teams off a little bit.
Yeah,
it's certainly going to be interesting for the next few years, watching him develop, watching them develop.
Yeah, definitely.
What they've got and stuff.
So, should we touch on your result, Matt?
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was obviously they just wanted to stop us to get the hat trick. So you both won. So they were like, "I'll take the defeat. We'll get the hat trick one day."
We've not had the hat trick.
Hopefully. Hashtag give us the hat
trick. It's a win. So, it's pleasing. The manner in which we nearly lost the game isn't. Should have been out of sight, really. But a win's a win, and you can't grumble too much about getting a win, especially against a divisional rival, especially against a young, good quarterback in Herbert, who does have a couple of weapons at his disposal there. So I'm pleased with that. The most frustrating thing for me was really how conservative Gruden was on certain plays. He made some mistakes on the play calls. We had I think they levelled the game up at 14-all with 28 seconds to go or something in the first half, and 25 seconds, he took the kick off, and you just take an in going to the changing rooms. But he decided to try and go for a get some points on the ball with 20 odd seconds left and a couple of timeouts. But we ended up the pocket collapsed around Carr, and the ball got knocked out of his hand, and they ended up scoring a field goal. So that just gave momentum straight back to them going into half time.
Yeah.
Which at the time I was really sort of concerned about, because your heads can go and all that sort of stuff. But then we came out, start the second half, and sort of Derek Carr was unreal. This is why he's there. Because there is four particular plays that stood in my mind, which there was the pass to Nelson Aguilar for the touchdown, absolute dime. Aguilar again turning up, $1 million contract, unreal. He's got to get paid. And then there was I think it was the next drive, a little scramble where he was getting sort of hunted down, and he
Superman.
Yeah, well, I'm going to come to that in a sec. The scramble was the pass to Renfro, where he was sort of threw it on the run, and it just basically landed in Renfro's hand without having to change his sort of route or anything like that. And then there was the Superman where it was 3rd and 10, and he just took off. I think he got to about 8 yards of the 10 and then leapt over somebody, which is stupid for a quarterback to do with all the injuries that can happen and things. And he protected the ball and we got a first down. And then off the back of that, there was the absolute dart to Darren Waller to get a touchdown, which he threw the eye of the needle. So there wasn't too many positives, which sounds weird from a win. And Carr's stats weren't really particularly impressive. Just those 4 plays really stuck in my mind. That's why he's there for me this week, because he literally put the team on his back second half and was like, right, let's get in front, let's get ahead. I think that was the difference between Carr and Herbert. Herbert's still young, still inexperienced. Carr's been around a while now, and he just knew what to do to sort of get us over the line. Shout out to Devontae Booker, backup running back, if you will. Looks really good. It's another great pickup. Jacobs again, dive for the pylon, keeping his feet off the ground as well, which would have been out of bounds. It
was the way he got the push without. He used his foot, but in the air to get the push without actually touching down to get that extension. Yeah, he looked really good. Really good.
Obviously, Wayne from Sigs is not a fan of Josh Jacobs. It's pleasing to get the win. The main talking point though was the final play for the Chargers. They were rolling. They were 5 points behind, I think it was, and they were, I don't know, what was it, 5 seconds to go and 2nd and goal or something like that.
Yeah.
A couple of yards out, and he threw it, and Isaiah Johnson managed to stop the first pass. I've forgotten the Chargers player's name, but he got hurt. So they played 1 second ago. They played the same play, but put a really big tight end in there. Johnson came in for Trayvon Mullen. So I think the Chargers thought the inexperience there would be what we'll go for. Didn't do it with their best wide receiver, so they went for the biggest guy they had. And it was initially given a touchdown with 1 second, well, the last play of the second to go. And the Chargers went ballistic. They would have won the game, this, that, and the other. And it was overruled. Rightly so, as well.
Rightly so.
The ball came out as an incomplete pass because he didn't control it and he dropped it as he hit the floor.
It was good coverage, to be fair. It was Johnson again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, same lad. And he was in tears at the end as well.
Did I hear something about he'd lost a really close friend or something? That's why he'd been out for a week or something.
Yeah. At the end of it, he said that those plays were for him.
So
really chuffed for him. He was dead emotional that he'd got his chance and he stepped up big time to effectively win us the game, really. Pleasing to get the win. The conservativeness from Gruden of being 4th and 1 and just not going for it when you're midfield. It's poor. Just go for it. So, I'm not a coach, but I know what I do. I know what I do on Madden. It's another good win. We're 5-3, divisional rival, 2-0 in the division as well. The only unbeaten team in the AFC West, Kansas City Who. And we've got another divisional game this week. We've got the Broncos, who are see who turns up. Really, we've got no Von Miller, so I think it's going to be a bit easier. But they're capable.
Don't know if you've looked yet on NFL Pick'ems. I just thought I'll just have a look to see the matchups for next week. What percentage do you reckon the Raiders are against the Broncos to win?
84.
I would say 75, something like that.
97%.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's the jinx. There's the jinx if you've ever seen one.
I think it'd be a tough game. It's divisional. The Broncos,
Yeah.
they're tough. They've got some really decent players in there. I think Drew Lock is all right. I think he's still learning. I think he'll get better. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm hopeful for a win. I'd like to start to think we will win, but I think it'll be a tough game. But we'll come into that in a minute.
Yeah.
So over to you.
Oh, please. Has he got him?
So let me be clear. I am starting to believe in a bit of a superstition, right? So the last time I wore the grey hoodie, the cap, and didn't do anything wild, we won. So there's no party poppers. There's no celebrations. I'm sorry to let you down, but we need to beat the Eagles. We need to beat the Eagles. We got to win. We got a dub. I'm happy with that. I feel we played really well. I know it was only a 3-point game in the end, but from a Giants perspective, we finally found a way to win. And I wouldn't say there's much negative to talk about from what the Giants fans were wanting. So if we were to pick a negative out, it'd be that we only scored 3 points in the second half. But having said that, DJ did everything that we've been asking him to do in that half, such as protect the ball, not waste the plays, throw out of bounds if that play's not there. Even right at the end, he took an absolute horrible blindside tackle. And, 100% of the time that happens on DJ, the ball is out, it's scooped up and it's home for 6. He kept hold of it. There's no Dan Fumbles Jones anymore, Jamie.
Anymore, one game and he's not anymore. I hope he does 5 next week now, just because you didn't do any party poppers.
One thing I will say was he fumbled the ball, but it didn't get turned over.
Still counts. It's a fumble.
He scooped it up. But yeah, some real positives. We made them turn the ball over 5 times. We had 3 picks and 2 fumble recoveries, which is just, what more can you ask for from your defense? I keep going on about it week on week. What Joe Judge and what Patrick Graham are doing with this lack of talent side to have us so close to, winning games, and now obviously winning our second game is unreal, and it's a real positive for the Giants' future. Joe Judge actually gets some talent, which is obviously one of my biggest concerns about Dave Gettleman. But doing a lot of reading this week, what a lot of people are saying about the Giants is, and it seems that the front office have sort of bought into Joe Judge's philosophy rather than it being Dave Gettleman's philosophy. So Dave Gettleman's philosophy was bringing Pat Shermer. So Pat Shermer didn't really have a say in things, whereas a lot of people are saying now Joe Judge has the say in things. So, hopefully a bright future. Offensive line, great job. 3 rookies again, and a centre that's playing centre for his first year. Andrew Thomas looked brilliant. I think he allowed 1 pressure. That was it. I saw a stat that him or Matt Peart didn't allow any, but I'm sure I saw Andrew Thomas allow 1. Chase Young didn't get a sack, kept him quiet, and it was Andrew Thomas's job. Brilliant. Matt Peart looks great. Took 50% of snaps this time, which is the most he's had. So it looks like the Giants have potentially got bookend tackles for their future there. And Shane Lemieux come in at left guard and again did another job. So it's exciting. I'm not looking forward to Will Hernandez coming back. He'll likely be back for the Eagles. And Joe Judge just talked about how he's going to rotate. He's got 3 guards and he's got 3 tackles and he wants to rotate them as much as possible. But we've looked so much better without Will Hernandez, who I think has been a letdown this season. I think he's been a letdown his whole career for Giants, but I think he's been a letdown when it's his 3rd year. You're expecting more defense, just great again. There was times when we were a bit worried, just because again, I talked about it being Giantsy, Spursy. When you see them, Kyle Allen dislocate his ankle or what have you, and then Alex Smith steps up and starts absolutely balling. I think in the 3 quarters he played, he threw for over 300 or just short of 300, and a good couple of chunk plays. But we did the job. Peppers with a pick. I think did Peppers get 2
his
picks?
ankle.
Yeah, yeah. Peppers got a pick.
Tackle.
Did he get 2 or who got the? I can't remember who got the second. But it was great. I don't know if anyone has seen what happened with Logan Ryan this week, but after the loss to the Bucks, he was in the dressing room winding down and everything like that, obviously with one of the medics, and his wife had rang him just saying she was suffering with stomach cramps all the time. She's been struggling for about a week or so now, but she was going to go to sleep and then maybe go to the ER if he didn't feel better in the morning. And apparently the medic said to Logan, she needs to go now. She turned up and she'd got, is it an eptomectic sort of pregnancy or whatever it is. And it had burst in her ovary. So she had an operation. Everything went well, thank God. But obviously they lost the child. And he'd obviously had a really, really tough week. He'd come out and said what a franchise it was, that, the medic saved his wife's life. But not only that, Joe Judge pulled him to the side and said, look, football doesn't matter when it comes to this. If you need to go back to Florida, feel free. And for him to get the winning interception, to finish that and bury that game when we're only 3 points ahead, it was quite fitting. Ran into the end zone, did a little baby celebration with the ball, said that's for you and stuff. Really, really nice. Been a great player for us this season. Great pickup, him, Bradbury and Martinez on free agency.
Martinez got a good one.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. He did. Yes, I forgot because I made sure to message Mark because Mark really loves Blake Martinez, who, by the way, has the most tackles in the NFL. So yeah, at you, Mark. But yeah, just good, just enjoyable, just an enjoyable game to watch. And divisional game, brilliant, puts us back in the hunt again. Not that we're out of the hunt with how shit the NFC East is, but leads us on to obviously the Philadelphia Eagles next week, which is obviously I think it's whoever wins that wins the division.
So 3 of us had divisional games this week, and 3 of us have got divisional games next week as well.
Panthers, yeah.
And
hopefully all winnable.
Let me just
Don't
check as
jinx
well.
it, Tom.
Let me just check. The Raiders won their divisional game. How did the Giants get on, Tom?
We won our divisional game.
So, sorry, apologies. I won't get this opportunity very often, so.
Don't forget, I have the power to pull the plug on this.
I'm milking it for all I can.
We ain't going live tomorrow.
If you know how to do podcasts and you're out there, somebody get in touch because we're looking for a new producer.
Executive producer, apparently.
But yeah, I think that leads nicely on to obviously next week's fixtures. We've got the Eagles at MetLife. Obviously a huge game. We spoke in the group this all week, and I've probably jinxed it by having the bet, but I've put the Giants to win the NFC East, and I've put an order that I think it'll be the Giants, Washington, Eagles, and Cowboys. That was a bit of a punt. I actually think it'll be the Giants, Eagles, Washington, and Cowboys, but it was better odds, so I thought I'd have a flash. But yeah, I think whoever takes this game wins the division. I was speaking to Phil because obviously he's asked what my thoughts are on it with him being an Eagles fan. And, as much as I've come on and slagged the Giants off over and over again, I've always said that we've been in these games and something's got to click. You've got to maybe look at Washington and go, it's a game that, although we got a win against them previously, we were gifted that game. We won this game. We went out and won this game, turned the ball over 5 times and didn't give the ball away once. Maybe it's something that we'll build on. And hopefully it is. The only thing going from his Eagles have got a few more injuries back, and they've had the bye week, so they're rested up and they should be well prepared. But I don't know. I think Joe Judge has got to go out there and make a statement. So I'm rooting for a win.
Can I just say, because I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but talking about next week, Big Ben is on the COVID list.
Yeah, saw that earlier actually. Yeah.
So there's about 4 or 5 of them, isn't there, on the Steelers?
Yeah.
Have you seen who they're playing, though?
The streak is over.
Have they got the Jets?
No, they've got the Bengals.
Have they?
Yeah, we'll still.
Yeah.
Joe
should be
Burrow
alright.
could do it though. You never know.
Don't know.
Mason
know.
Rudolph will come in and do a job.
I think
I don't
you have to. You're on the COVID list for 6 days, aren't you? So you might get away with being available Sunday.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? But we've got the Panthers, so hopefully, divisional game, we should be okay.
Tough game. Panthers are actually pretty good.
They've always been good, but that's because of Christian McCaffrey. And McCaffrey's back now.
Do you know what?
He was out for a few weeks.
Tom and I were talking about this at lunch today. He is good, but I don't know why.
He's an elite running back. He's the only running back in history to have 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards in the same season.
Okay, tell me what he's really, really good at.
Running.
And
breaking tackles. Yeah, he usually gets about 10, 11 yards on a run.
Is he good at breaking tackles? He's really good. I'm not saying he's shit.
He's one of the best in the NFL.
I just don't know why. It doesn't, for me, he doesn't have one particular attribute that he's really, really good at. When you look at, I think he's just really good at finding the gaps. I think he's good at finding the gaps.
It's like Jamie Vardy. You don't know why he's good, but he just keeps scoring goals.
Yeah. And you look at running backs, and they've all got different attributes which they're really good at. I'll talk about three that I particularly like. Marshall Lynch was just an absolute monster. He was powerful. He was strong, and that's what worked for him. You look at someone like Adrian Peterson. I'll go with Le'Veon Bell. He's fast, really fast, really smart. I was going to go with Saquon as well. Again, he's quick and smart, clever, knows what to do. Jacobs is very much a yards after contact kind of guy. He'll drag people through with him. I don't really know what Christian McCaffrey does particularly well, but he is really, really good, and it's just annoying.
He is. He's brilliant.
I'm making it sound like I don't agree that he's good. He's very, very good. I just don't know why.
I'm going to go again and make another football analogy. It's like James Milner. He's just Mr. Reliable. You always count on him.
He's better than Milner.
Obviously, but I'm just saying that's the kind of thing that, James Milner will do the job for you, and McCaffrey will always do the job for you. You put him in, he'll get a few yards.
Top 5 in the NFL right now in running backs.
And he's been out for most of it.
I just don't know. It's just frustrating to watch.
If the Panthers obviously didn't have him, they would be a lot worse off.
I think, aren't their wide receivers the best wide receiver duo in terms of yards this season, the Panthers?
Well, last year was Mike Evans and Godwin. Look where that got us, so,
I'm just thinking that...
the Panthers are doing miles better than what we all anticipated they'd do. I think I came out at the start and said it's probably going to be a transitional period for them with them, new coach. But Matt Rule was highly spoke about. The Giants were linked with him before Joe. I mean, Joe Judge was relatively quiet in regards to being linked. We were linked with Matt Rule, and I believe he interviewed with the Giants and then went to Carolina, interviewed with them, and didn't come back to the Giants. I think that Carolina obviously did enough to persuade him. He probably fucking took one look at Dave Gettleman and thought, yeah, fuck that. But he's been great for them because, I mean, they're doing miles better than I anticipated. And Matt, you and I spoke, I think Teddy Bridgewater's doing unbelievable for them. I know, like you said, he's obviously looking for a payday, but it gives them a decision to make, doesn't it, whether they pay him or not? Because I just don't think they're going to get... Well, they're not going to get a top 2 pick. So your 2 big quarterback prospects from the draft have gone. So then where do you go? I think Mark said Trey Lance, hasn't he, and Zach Wilson. But again, there's more teams out there that are probably desperate for a quarterback, probably more than the Panthers. They could. I don't know the full rules behind a franchise, but surely they could franchise Teddy for a year, like we franchised Leonard Williams, and decide what they do there. But yeah, it'd be interesting. It will be interesting. Yeah. But they've definitely surprised me.
I'm pretty sure that early on as well, I said NFC South is one of the strongest divisions in the NFL. And all 3 teams are very good, like you said, with Christian McCaffrey and Bridgewater's doing bits. And then Atlanta Falcons are bottom of our division, and they've got Todd Gurley, Julio Jones, and Matt Ryan. And then you go
Julio
to
Jones
us.
Had a fucking game on Sunday.
And then you go to us, and like I said...
Well, I'm going to call it a route. It's a route. I hate it being called route.
Yeah.
The route he runs where he just sends the
See you later. Go get the hot dog for me.
Yeah, he just left in about 400 yards of space in the end zone. Just from a little shuffle. Yeah, it's class.
Yeah.
Absolute class.
It is.
Big fan of Jude.
I stand by it. It's an incredible division, our NFC South, and anybody but the Saints can get second because they've won it.
Yeah.
Julio Jones, best wide receiver in the NFL.
And they're 3 for 6, Panthers and Falcons.
Chances, Matt? What are you thinking for next week?
It was the Broncos. I think their record is probably a little unfair on them. They got lucky against the Chargers, really. The Chargers blew it the week before. They've got some really good players. They've got Philip Lindsay. They've got Melvin Gordon.
Noah Fant.
The Noah Fant, first round pick, tight end, decent. So not got Von Miller. That's huge. He's a massive player to not have. But I am hoping for a win. I'd be disappointed if we lose it because I think we are better than the Broncos. But it would be very, very much the Raiders to lose that game against Denver at home. It'd be really disappointing. But I'm hopeful for a win. It's one game when you look at your future fixtures, I would mark it down as a potential win because the week after we've got Kansas City, which they always won, so I'm expecting to lose that. But I'm hopeful for a win. I just think it's not as easy as their record shows, really.
Chargers wasn't, was it?
No. And we probably should have lost that, really. If I'm being honest. So I think I put in the group, didn't I, that I hate NFL. It's I try not to get my hopes up too much because I've had years and years and years of getting my hopes up and then losing to. We got stuffed by the fucking Jets last year. Ridiculous.
We got beat by the Jets last year.
Look at the state of them now. That it's the first team in NFL history, I think. No, first time in their history they've gone 0-9.
To be fair though, I know we're kind of going to go on to it at some point, but the Jets should not have lost that game. It was ridiculous. Watching the highlights, they should have won that game. And then with 5 minutes left on the clock, what do you do with the ball when you're winning? You run that clock down. And what's he do? Throws it into double coverage right into an interception.
He makes
throwing it down for first pick.
I wonder if Joe Flacco took a bit of a payday to make sure they don't win.
If there was any doubt, because a lot of these pundits say that no team tanks. If there is any proof, you watch that game. I mean, the head coach was videoed in his little box asleep, watching the game. He's asleep. He doesn't care. Doesn't care. I know what I'm going for. I'm getting Trevor Lawrence, and whatever happens this season, I have to be here, but I'm gonna have a nap.
And they're gonna have, their second round pick is going to be 33rd. That's essentially a first rounder.
Of course it is, yeah.
So.
Yeah, they've got something, and I've not looked at sort of what draft cap they've picked up, but they've been pillaging the team, so I'm assuming they've picked up some more right picks.
They've literally been shifting people out since week 2.
Yeah,
Robbie Anderson left last year. I don't know if they got a pick for him, but he's decent. I think is he at the Panthers? I can't remember. He's at somewhere.
The Jets to be the number 1 New York team next year.
No chance. Bills are still there.
Robbie Anderson went to the Panthers, so I'm going to have a look at Jets draft capital.
So while Matt's looking for that, Jamie, what are you saying about Panthers and Bucks then? Prediction?
I hope we win. We need to I think Brady's going to come back strong. I think we're going to hit 40 points. I think it could be a big, over 40. I think we could have a big one. I'm going to put my prediction in that Antonio Brown is going to bag. Gronk's going to bag. And I'll tell you what, no, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to put this on as a bet. Brown's getting a hat.
A hattie? 3 or more?
Matt's face. No, I
had a cheeky dabble on him this week of over 100 yards and a touchdown.
He will.
Where that got me.
He's got 2 weeks with the team. 2 weeks with the team against the Panthers. They've got to prove a point to show how good we actually are as an offense and a defense. It's probably going to be a very big, high-scoring game for us, hopefully. and I think we're going to score over 40 points. As long as Big Gronk gets to spike it, we'll be all good.
The Jets have 2 first-rounders, and they have obviously a second-rounder, 2 thirds, and then a sort of 4th, 2 5th, 6th, and 7th. So they've got 5 picks in the top 100 at the minute. Yeah. I don't know.
It's another Miami scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
You just got to make sure they do something with it.
It said
I fucking pray Trevor Lawrence, bails. I hope I can't see him not wanting to declare, but I'd love him to pull an Eli. Just be like, no, I'm not going to play for you, so you need to trade me.
Let's have a look.
It's crazy to think that, though, isn't it? It's like, could you imagine that in the Premier League or something like that? Like, whoever finishes bottom gets like the championship top goal scorer, some random crap like that. Like, nah, mate, I'm good, thanks. I don't know how it'd work. It's weird. Like, I've never played Football Manager with the NFL, not the NFL, with the MLS, because they do it in there as well, don't they?
I've had an MLS game.
It's like, I mean, this is what English football should be. This is why, like, how American football is good to the Americans, and obviously it's why English football. I don't even know where I'm going with this now. English football is obviously awful, like, because it's got so many foreign exports coming in and destroying the game, and they always complain that there's not enough English players, or why the English national team isn't doing any good, because we're not giving English players a chance. If they had the mainstream to obviously come in, that's why like Trent Alexander-Arnold came in, did amazing because he was given a chance. Dele Alli came from like League Two, went into Tottenham, given the chance. Jamie Vardy from Fleetwood going in, given the chance. It's like, if you give more people, they send them to Germany, and Jadon Sancho's become one of the biggest players in the world. Yeah. Jude Bellingham from Birmingham's gone over there now as well. It's like, it's ridiculous. If they should have something like this for the Premier League, where they have to have at least 5 English players in their starting 11.
I just like that it keeps, the best thing about the NFL is it keeps it sort of. I'd say, it should keep it
dominated.
It doesn't as much, does it? Because you look at the Giants and the Jets and the Jags, but it gives you that chance at least. This should now really next season, if the Jets get Trevor Lawrence, if he is as good as everyone is saying, then realistically they should be a team competing in the first season. Because that's how people are saying. People are saying that he is a game winner on his own. I mean, his career, he's lost 1 game, and it was the college final. He's not lost any other game
against Joe Burrow.
Exactly. Heisman Trophy winner, and obviously the first round pick following that. So,
was James Winston.
So's Kyler Murray. Fuck Kyler Murray. I hate him. Horrible face. But yeah, so I think we're going to do something different this week.
Do you want to talk about any standout results from last week, just before we go?
Yeah.
Because there is one that sort of sticks in my mind, and it's just the Vikings picking up a win against the Lions, really. Only because...
sorry, Bones.
Yeah, I'm not sorry. Only because Vikings have been poor this season, and the Lions have been average at best, I'd say. So I did actually go with the Lions on my pick'ems. What is going on in Detroit? That is a stinker of a result for me. And is Stafford the answer? We know Matt Patricia is not a head coach. It's blindingly obvious. But is Stafford the answer? For me, no. I think
he's done.
He's just been middle ground for so long. Never really set the world on fire. Never done anything of any note for me, anyway. And they brought in Patricia from the Patriots, who people regarded as a great footballing coach, and he's done nothing with this supposedly really good quarterback. He was at one stage recently the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. So yeah, for me, no, Stafford, poor. If I was the Lions, I'd be looking at what's available next year, potentially, in terms of draft picks and things like that. And I'd be looking to move on from Stafford. I don't know what sort of hit they'd take on the cap if they did. They're not going to move on from him, are they? I think Stafford's got a pretty safe job there. But
that's half the problem, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not performing in your job safe. What incentive have you got?
Yeah, he's got comfy. Yeah. He's got paid a lot of money. He's comfy. Expectations probably quite low in Detroit.
Mine.
Can we go on? Sorry, Jamie. Yeah.
I was going to say mine has to be the Bills and the Seahawks because I watched that game and it was awful. Like,
Yeah,
as a
that's
massive
what I was
Russell
exactly
Wilson
going to
fan,
say.
it was ridiculous. Like, I watched it because obviously it was the Sky game and Mercedes and Seahawks fan. I was like, yeah, we'll watch it. And it was just awful to watch. Like, it wasn't Russell Wilson playing that game.
Can we now say this is why I say he's not elite? So again, MVP, he's not getting MVP this season. Simple as that. He's done. So
what elite quarterbacks have you got in the NFL right now? Give us 3.
I'm not saying the names because I have to say one name and I don't fucking want to say it at all. She got Brady, which I'm fine with saying Brady. I don't mind Brady.
And Breeze.
He's a bit of a prick,
but you can't say
Breeze.
Wilson isn't because he had a bad game with the game Brady had at the weekend and still say Brady is.
Yeah, Brady's got 6 rings though, hasn't he? Russell's only got 1. Is Eli Manning? Would you class Eli Manning as an elite quarterback?
No.
You wouldn't. He's got 2 rings. He's got double.
But I would class Peyton Manning, and he's only got 2, hasn't he?
Yeah, but again, double what Russell's got.
Yeah.
When you can tell me you as an elite quarterback that's only got 1 ring, I will let you put Russell in that.
Joe Namath, 1960 summit.
Games moved on.
It's a different ball game, man.
the only argument for Russell being elite is Aaron Rodgers that you would put in the elite category because I think he's only got 1 ring. Is that right?
Yeah, but he's just a sexy man.
That is your only argument, but as much as I don't like to say it, Wilson it isn't at that level. So, and I've started to warm to Wilson because DK Metcalf for some reason has made me have a bit of a loving for the Seahawks. But yeah, I think everyone was looking at really good. I think, Matt, you said at one point you were like, I don't think they're as good as their results are showing. They're a bit weak in the defence. And coming up against the Bills, where Josh Allen's now put his name back up there for MVP, hasn't he? And dropping 44 points on the Seahawks. Don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's not fair on Russell Wilson when it's the defence that he's letting him down. But
he threw 2 picks still. But
just to touch back on the elite quarterback thing. Would you class Dan Marino as an elite quarterback?
No.
I know people
he's just
do.
known by a
people
name,
say he's probably the best quarterback that has never won a ring. But that's pre me. I wasn't involved in the sport then. That's my get out clause.
Laces out.
What did these pundits know? Everyone thought the Bucs were going to beat the Saints.
I think Wilson is elite for me. I think he's really good.
Yeah, so do I. But
the first of the scramblers, isn't he? He's the original scrambler.
He's still favourite for the MVP.
Bit, yeah. But he's never had an MVP vote.
Russell Wilson is still the favourite for the
that's
MVP.
That's not 3 people sat on a podcast that know a little about NFL.
They don't like how much of a nice guy he is. That's all it is.
I hate it.
Yeah, he's still favourite on Sky Bet.
He's not getting it. He's not getting it.
I hope he does, because that'll be a belter of an episode. We'll just have to learn how to put clips of you saying that over and over and over and over again. Have a little 4th box with it.
Russell Wilson with the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, we'll get Wilson on. We'll get Russ on.
Yeah, he's good. Again, if we were putting it into football terms, you've got your Ronaldos and your Messis, and then you have your Neymars, your Bales underneath.
Bale? You put him in the same class as Neymar?
100%. So what? Wind back 3 years ago, because Neymar's no way.
Salah's better than Bale.
Wind back 3 years ago, when the debate was, you've got 2 there, which are Messi and Ronaldo. Then you have that tier underneath. Salah wasn't even known.
Bale's not known now. He has to go on loan.
He certainly is. They were in there, and that for me is where Wilson sits. You're nearly, man.
Any special mentions for last week? Or for this week, or whichever you want to call
it. I will go biased and say Andrew Thomas. Second game in a row now, but up against Chase Young. Well done, mate, because you've been shy up to now. So it's great to see you turn it around when we took the 4th round pick, and I hope that continues. He's clearly taken on the advice on board. Well done.
What about you, Jamie? Any particular person, team, or play, or anything that deserves special mention?
Special mention for Ryan Suckup. for getting us the only 3 points in the game.
That's justifiable. I like that.
It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. You both gone with players from your own team there, which I find quite
Well,
interesting.
to be fair, it has to be a Taysom Hill. For the sake, like I said, unreal performance by him as a backup quarterback. It begrudges me to say because we played awful, but he was definitely my honourable mention this week. I knew as soon as I watched it.
If I wasn't going for a Giants player, I don't like saying it, but I think two is within a shout there to get the Dolphins to be a strong Cardinals side and Kyler Murray, and to look comfortable doing it as well. If you introduce someone to the sport who knew what a rookie was in comparison to a vet, but didn't know anything about NFL and who'd been picked or how long they've been playing, they wouldn't put Tua as a rookie playing that game.
No, I excuse me, I definitely agree with you. I had a couple of honourable mentions really. One was Josh Allen. I think he really stepped his game up against Seattle, as we just mentioned there. I also wanted to sort of give a bit of a shout to Keenan Allen at the Chargers. I've always rated him anyway, but he had over 100 yards receiving, and I think it's pretty good. But the person who gets the main mention for me is a different Allen, and it's Kyle Allen at Washington for the awful broken bone he got against the Giants. I think it's just so unfortunate. You could argue that maybe the Giants player meant to swing his leg around. I don't think he did. I think
I don't.
It's just a really, really unfortunate injury.
Just a bit of a coincidence. It's the second quarterback we've killed this season.
Yeah.
I just love the thing
and the
as
second
well.
divisional quarterback.
I just loved when you were saying it as well. Like, I'm sure you can edit this later, but Tom's just there, just like, I'm sure, guess like that gangster thing where you put the glasses on and you're like, you're just there, just like, like killed another quarterback.
Carson Wentz, we're coming for you this week.
You can sneeze on Carson Wentz and he'll go down injured. So yeah, it's just my shout for an awful injury that you don't really want to see for the majority of players. No. There's some I'd love to get it like that, but
I like red. So yeah,
you sounded like Mahomes then.
Kermit. Yeah. So we're changing it up a bit this week. I think we're going to try and release 2 episodes. So we wanted to get the main content in regards to the games and what's going on and predictions, etc. So we'll wrap it up here for this one. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled because there'll be another episode coming, potentially with a special guest as well. So yeah, something to look forward to. So as always, Matt, over to you.
Usual scripts. I should still know them, and I definitely don't. It's Third and Short Podcast on Facebook, Third and Short UK Podcast on YouTube. And I think it's Third Short Pod on Twitter. Again, don't know the TikTok. That's not for me.
Third and Short Pod.
There we go. Tommy TikTok will go from now on. But yeah, get at us. We are going to change up this week, and we hope it's well received. It's just for the sake of we went for an hour and 40 odd last week, and that's a long sort of thing to listen to.
But listen to us to 2 separate 1 hours.
Yeah, so now we're going to split it up to make it seem like you're not spending as much time listening to us, but it'll actually be longer. So get at us again with your questions. Episode 2 this week, we're going to have all the questions and some other bits and bobs and a special guest as well, which we're all really excited about. I don't want to give too much away, but I'm sure you will love this person for maybe not for football reasons, but you'll perhaps love seeing them talk to 3 British lads who haven't really got a clue about NFL.